What's up? This is Greggatron. I saw that Batman movie over the weekend, and that's what this video is about. I want to talk to y'all about this Batman. The Batman, not this Batman, the Batman. First, I'm going to talk about what I liked about it. Second, I'm going to talk about what I didn't like about it. And third, I'm going to talk about comparison. So, first of all, this video has spoilers. That's right. So click away. And it's going to be in the title, so y'all should know to click away if you haven't seen the movie. Alright. So I like the movie a lot. And the main reason I like it is it's a real mystery. Alright? It's a straight up real mystery. And I haven't seen that in a Batman movie in probably forever. I mean, probably since the animated movies, right? But, man, just the whole aspect of, for one, this was his second year as Batman. So he wasn't quite the world's greatest detective quite yet. He's still in the process of getting there, right? And I thought that was cool how they were showing him kind of new at this. But the whole mystery aspect with the Riddler, I thought that was great. And he couldn't figure all this stuff out on his own, which was also cool. I think Alfred helped him. Catwoman helped him. And who can forget, he wasn't commissioner yet, but I call him Commissioner Gordon. I'm going to call him Commissioner Gordon in this video, even though he was either lieutenant at the time or captain. He might have been Captain Gordon. But now that I'm talking about him, I thought the best thing about the movie was his relationship with Jim Gordon. Because I'm a big fan of Commissioner Gordon, right? From the animated series. But I like this version a lot because he and Batman were really tag teaming these villains, like when they were interrogating that guy on that roof. Well, then they had them interrogating the Penguin. I think that was the Penguin who said, "What is this, good cop, batshit crazy cop?" Stuff like that, right? But just the way his relationship was being established with Jim Gordon as to how he's thinking, can we trust him, and vice versa. And I like how the cops treated Batman. They didn't trust him one bit. Not all of them, but a lot of them didn't trust Batman. And of course, Jim Gordon's going to stick his neck out for Batman. And you can tell he was just kind of leading the way as far as bringing Batman on board with them. And I like how he supported Batman in the crime scene investigation, right? They got the caution tape up, do not enter. And all these cops are looking like, what's he doing in here? And Jim Gordon's just like, it's all right. He's with me. But a lot of the cops hated that, and I thought that was really cool. I could talk about him and Commissioner Gordon for a whole video. But let me talk about Batman himself for a second. Robert Pattinson, I think his name is. I liked him a lot as Batman. Not so much as Bruce Wayne, right? Now, I like him as Batman. For one, the suit was really clean. That was a clean-ass suit. Like how the collar kind of goes up behind his neck. The ears looked super pointy. The chest plate with the batarang, which came from the gun that killed his parents, that was cool. Just the whole suit, the whole torso part, how it's somewhat bulletproof. I say somewhat because it wasn't fully bulletproof, but I mean, he did take a shotgun to the chest towards the end of the movie, which was pretty advanced. But I can tell this is going to be a long video. But I thought him being Batman was really good. You know, I felt like he almost tried to compare himself to Christian Bale just a little bit, but it's all good. I mean, the flying mechanism, I liked how he didn't have that on point quite yet, but it was interesting because he had the contact lenses. That aspect was down as far as tracking and remembering things. Because I remember in the video games, those Arkham Asylum games, he could record things in a cowl. It was kind of like having a police monitor, but it was in the cowl, right? So he could go back on the back computer later on and rewind it, or else he'll forget, right? But in this movie, he used the contact lenses, which I'm like, okay, this is super advanced. But then he's not advanced when it comes to other things like having the gliding down, which was interesting. It was almost like he was too advanced when it came to certain things. Like, you shouldn't be able to do this until like Batman year 5 or 4 or whatever, right? But still, it was dope. I like how he was narrating in the beginning. I mean, that narrating scene when they started out, that was just great. I mean, that just set the whole standard for the movie. That just set it up perfectly. And I like how he was actually Batman for a long period of time in the movie, right? Because a lot of these superhero movies, the main character is only the superhero for here and there or a small amount of time, depending on the movie, right? But I feel like in this movie, the Batman, he was actually Batman more than he was Bruce Wayne. Like, I felt like he was Batman like 80% of the movie. And the time where he was Bruce Wayne, he didn't want to be Bruce Wayne. He just did it because he had to do some Bruce Wayne stuff real quick. But you could tell almost like he prefers being Batman, even though it's Batman year 2, because he knows the city's going to hell, right? But they really did a good job at making him Batman for long periods of time. They're like, he could be Bruce Wayne right now. Nah, we're going to leave him as Batman. I mean, that was good. I mean, this was a straight up Batman movie. You got the mystery aspect. You got the suit. The suit was clean. You got the relationship with Commissioner Gordon. You got the relationship with Catwoman. I mean, this was a real Batman movie. Like, some of it took me back a little bit to different cartoons, like almost like the Batman cartoon. Not the animated series necessarily, but the Batman. Yeah, which was from like the early 2000s or something. But it was good. It was really good. I mean, I could talk about how good it is for another 10 minutes, but all you guys need to know is it was really good. So here's what I didn't like, right? So in the beginning, I could tell this is woke, right? This is kind of woke. So they showed those news reporters in the beginning, and I'm like, okay, we got a black female reporter and a white male reporter. All right. And then they show these two reporters kind of throughout the movie telling the news. I'm like, all right, whatever. And then the congresswoman who was running for mayor, she was a black female. I'm like, all right, I see what they're doing with this. Like, trying to make the black woman come in and save the day. Like, she's, you know, pure of heart and all that, right? You had her up in there. And Jim Gordon being black, I was all right with that because Jim Gordon's a character who doesn't necessarily have to be white. He's like Nick Fury. Nick Fury could be black or white. The only thing I have about that is, so in the future, if Jim Gordon's daughter becomes Batgirl, she's going to be black. So if she's black, that means it's going to be easier for Jim Gordon to identify, hey, that might be my daughter, because there's only so many black people in Gotham, right? Whereas if she was white, like Batman, anybody could be Batman or Robin or Batgirl, because there's a bunch of white people in Gotham, right? So I don't even know if there's going to be a Batgirl in this universe. I'm just saying, if she's black, that's going to make it easier for people to identify her. And he is one of the greatest detectives. Commissioner Gordon is. So it would just be that much easier. Just think about that. He's going on a mission with Batman, or he's talking to him on the rooftop or something, and he sees this girl is with him. You know what I mean? Whatever. But the biggest woke part, and this is the only wokeness that really bothered me. Those other three things I didn't really care about. I'm just saying. I didn't like it when Catwoman was like, she referred to the elites, the rich people in Gotham. She said these rich, what'd she say? These white privileged assholes. I'm like, really? First of all, isn't she half white, or I guess half Italian? Because she turned out to be the daughter of, not Maroni, but the other guy, Falcone. So I'm like, so you're half white, and you're calling these people white privileged assholes. I'm like, come on, we get it. Like, come on. We already got a decent black cast in the movie, and now you're calling these people white privilege. I'm like, why not just call them rich assholes? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you trying to do? Divide people here? But besides that, it was cool. Good ass movie. But real quick, I wanted to compare it to the other movies, which is actually impossible to do. I can't compare it to Batman Begins or The Dark Knight or The Dark Knight Rises or really any of them, and here's why. So this movie is just totally different. If you're looking for a Nolan type movie, you're not going to get it. Like, Batman Begins and The Dark Knight is over here, whereas this movie's over here. Like, there's just no comparison. I really can't. But that's what makes it good, right? Because I don't want it to be like those movies. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean the movie wasn't good or bad. I'm just saying you have to watch this movie for what it is. You can't go into it thinking about Christian Bale or Kevin Conroy or Ben Affleck or Michael Keaton. You can't do that. This is totally different. And I appreciate that. I really do. Like, and even as far as rating it as to best Batman movies from best to worst, rating it that way, I don't even want to do that, because to me it just felt very unique and it felt so different. And I also like how they actually painted a really dirty Gotham City. You know, the last time I saw Gotham City this filthy was in the TV show Titans. Shout out to the Tim Drake kid from Titans. He was in the beginning of the movie. But they really painted a dark, messed up, gritty, destructive Gotham. And I really appreciated that, because that's one of the reasons why Bruce Wayne became Batman, was the city was so jacked up. I mean, look at what happened to his parents. But I'll probably give this movie a 8 out of 10, maybe an 8.5. I mean, the Riddler was nice. He was nice. I like how he had that duct tape. Every time there was a crime, this man had duct tape. I'm like, dang, man. Like, this man can't go anywhere without this duct tape. But again, he's new at this, right? The little hint at the end with the Joker. So we know the Joker exists in this universe, which is cool too. We know the Penguin exists. As far as sequels, I was talking to my buddy and my brother. I said, I would like to have a movie with the Man-Bat or with Hush. And then my brother is like, well, Hush is a big villain, so he would have to be in the third one. But I think the Man-Bat would be really good because he is another mystery. A lot of people don't know who the Man-Bat is. And it would be somewhat tough for Batman to figure that out. Not just taking down the Man Bat, but who is he and why is he doing this? And Hush is another one of those mystery type characters. So if they want to build a trilogy off of mysteries, those are people too. And I was also thinking Clayface would be decent because Clayface can shapeshift. So you really don't know who he is. And it might not be the traditional big, ugly, nasty looking Clayface that we're used to in the animated series. It could just be a Clayface from, he just looks like me and you, just like a normal person, but he can just shapeshift. Things like that. But I like this movie. And people are trying to compare it to the Spider-Man movie, but I'm like, that's not the same thing because this Spider-Man movie, that was the third movie, whereas this is just the first movie. But I like the characters in this movie. I like I say, Commissioner Gordon might be my favorite character. But you had a lot of good characters. You had him, you had Batman, you had Alfred, Catwoman was nice. The whole aspect with the girl who got murdered, which was her friend. You had the crime bosses like Falcone. And I like how he told the story about Thomas Wayne when Thomas Wayne saved his life. That reminded me of Batman Long Halloween. I mean, this was a good movie. When it's on DVD, I'm getting it. Like, I'm there. I'm at Walmart in the DVD section. But let me know what you guys think. This video is already long. But we'll talk about this. Peace.